Okay, let's see. I think we are online. Holder. I hope that you can hear me because this is going to be a special episode. Yeah, for the first time we're going to have some live coding session. Unbelievable. I know there's just like two of you guys, but basically I will do my best. I'll go through some SDK examples. I will try to compile them, rebuild them, and kind of the goal is after this 1 or 2 hour live stream, we have enough material to, I don't know, create 2 or 3 videos out of it. So hello. Hello, Zandoya. Let me first set up everything. I should probably do that too. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's first. Yeah, so I have a brand new and empty scale-away machine. And the first thing that we're going to do is basically install all the dependencies that we need in order to compile, the examples that we have on our, Ternoa JS repo. I think this could be useful, maybe not to all of you guys, but maybe to some. So let's do that. But first, I know that you cannot see my screen. I first need to set up everything. I need to connect to my machine. And then after that, we'll do some Docker stuff or Podman. And we will try to, run a local instance of chain and connect our SDK with a local instance of chain. Hello, Bruce. Okay, let me just. Yeah, first I need to turn on my Scala machine. This will take a while. Yeah, so I'm not really sure how long this is going to be. But during the time, there's going to be a lot of waiting, a lot of me failing and trying to fix my stuff. At the same time, this is going to be probably like a good place for you if you have any questions regarding the SDK or the chain itself. I will do my best to answer them during the whole, I guess, 2 hour stream that I'm planning, or 1 hour. And yeah, I think the machine is online. I will connect to it. Okay. Okay. I will share my screen in a minute. Yes. I just need to set up first everything. Your name is Eugene. Nice. Hello, Eugene. Okay, clear. Okay, beautiful. Now I will share my terminal with you. Share screen, window. I think it's this one. Let's see. Okay. This is better. Salut, comment ça va? Yeah. I don't really know French, to be honest. Je ne parle pas français. Désolé. First things first, we will try to install all the dependencies that we need. Let's do them step by step. They are kind of written in our documentation. At the same time, they are inside our Docker, I would say, image file. Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Merci. Et toi? Let me just share my Docker file. Okay, wrong one. get the right one. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm trying, I'm trying. Okay, seems like I cannot share multiple screens, which is annoying. Uh, I could share the whole screen, but that could be messy. But yeah, let's see. So in the dev, so once you get our repo, once you clone it, hey, hello, uh, you should kind of switch to the dev branch because most of the new work is there, and in that new work we have this amazing Docker file which kind of explains what exactly you need to do in order to install all the dependencies to run our examples. And we will just go through them. So this is specifically made for Debian and Ubuntu systems. Um, I'm not sure if we're going to have any kind of tutorials on how to do on other Linux distributions like Arch or Fedora, and probably going to have some kind of tutorial for macOS, but I'm not sure about Windows because nobody uses Windows to do dev stuff, and if you're using Windows, you should probably use Windows subsystem for Linux or something like that, WSL. You should definitely use that. But yeah, so let's just go through all the lines or all the comments line by line, and then let's try to do them on a brand new machine. So in the first line we just define that our new instance, our new or our Docker container will actually start from Ubuntu 22.04 image. This is one of the newer version. I think the newest is 22.10, but that's not long-term release, LTS, I think. So this one is LTS. It should be okay for the next 2 or 3 years. It's going to get all the support from Canonical, so we should be okay with that. We can just ignore for a moment those two lines because they are kind of unimportant for us. The next one is, it's always crucial. Your system needs to be up to date, and if you have any packages that needs to upgrade, upgrade them. This is just how it works, and those basically are those two comments. And the last ones are installing some pretty much basic necessary stuff in order to do other comments after this one. So we have git and curl. We need git to get the repo. We need curl to get some bash scripts that we're going to run and execute. That's the line 8. The next line 11. Basically, we get the NVM script. So there are a couple of ways how you can install Node.js. One of the ways is just using the existing version in Ubuntu by running sudo apt-get install Node.js. This is going to install, I think, the version 16, which is not the latest one. The latest one is 18. And if you want to upgrade from 16 to 18, then again you need to install some kind of package manager versioning software, MVM, and I think there are like 5-6 of them for this. It's up to you. The second issue is that once you do sudo apt-get install Node.js, if you want to install TypeScript, globally, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to get e-access error, which then you need to debug and handle in Google how to do it. So this is the least painful way. So you install NVM, which is basically this line. Then on your computer you would just close and reopen the terminal. In the Docker image, we need to source the nvm script, so we have access to the nvm binary where we install this specific version, which is the latest one as far as I know, and we tell nvm, okay, install it and use 18. What Ternoa repo do you use? So this is the Ternoa-gs repo. After we go through this file, I will be doing step-by-step, commands on a completely empty Ubuntu 20 machine, I think, or 22, I'm not sure. So you will see. So basically right now, I'm trying to explain what we need to do, and then we will try to actually do it ourselves. So after we have installed the right node version, and as politely asked, what branch? It's the dev branch. There is no Marko branch. It's the dev branch on the Node.js. So then we install TypeScript globally. Again, this should work just fine. You should not be getting any kind of errors. And to see if we did all those steps correctly, we just print out the version of Node and TypeScript. The version of Node is supposed to be 18.7.0, and the version of TypeScript is supposed to be, I think, 4.7.0 or 4. I'm not sure. We will see. After that, we just change the directory to the starter project. We install all the dependencies by running npm install, and then we build the example. This is kind of, the workflow on what things to install, how to set up everything, correctly. In a minute, we will do it ourselves. And in the end, I'm just saying, okay, if you run this container, immediately start the starter project so that you can see some kind of, input. So about this Docker file, we'll talk in more details in, I don't know, half an hour or something. Let's first try to do the same steps that we have here. And for that, probably I need to share my whole screen. So give me a moment. Share screen. Let's see. Entire screen, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. So yeah. Okay. This is on the left side. I have a completely. Maybe. Yeah, I should probably do it like this. Okay. Can I do it? Not like. Okay. I need to do it manually. Oh well. Okay. But because the comments are quite long, and this should help us. Just 1 second. Okay, we are back. So on the bottom, I have a completely empty machine. I mean, it's not completely empty. I'm lying. It has Ubuntu installed, but we don't have anything. I'm not sure if we don't have Git installed. So let's just go line by line and let's do it. Let's first do the apt update. Since I think I have sudo access here, so I can just do apt update and it's going to work. So yeah, let's see if I kind of can move myself somehow, because oh yeah, okay. Oh, it's not okay. Let's see. No. No. Why? Okay. Right now, I'm just trying to move myself from the bottom left corner to somewhere else, but I don't see an option for that. Let me check. Hotkeys, layout. No. Okay. Then we will do no the opposite. This is going to go on top, and this is going to go on bottom. Ah. Okay. Bit more. I think we should be fine now. Okay. Hey, no, let's just deal with that. uh, so yeah, hello, hello, Hurifu Bakase. Oh, sure. So what's the context? Yeah, basically this is so. If I'm wearing this hat, basically it's a live coding session, and in this live coding session, I will go through how to compile the Ternoa SDK or Ternoa JS repo. I will run some of those examples. I will show you what dependencies to install. Um, After that, I will show how to run the Docker image, and if we still have enough time, I will also run a local chain and connect an app that I will write with my local chain. This can be really, useful for guys because it means that you don't need to always connect to the AlphaNet or mainnet to do stuff. You can always connect to your local chain. We don't have currently explanation for that. I know we don't have it anywhere documented, but that's why I am doing this run to see if my concepts on how to do it are correct. And basically, I will do a lot of mistakes. Okay, this is a live coding session, so mistakes happen. So yeah. At the same time, if you have any questions, feel free regarding SDK, regarding blockchain, regarding everything else, and it's or anything else. I really cannot say because I don't know. I don't know. I cannot talk about marketing because I don't know. Cannot talk about rewards or whatever or teams. I don't know. I don't deal with that. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, what we have done so far, we just went through the Docker file to see, because in the Docker file, I have described what exactly you need to do, okay? You can basically just kind of copy and paste and do it yourself, locally or VM, it's going to work. There are, still some kind of things that you need to understand, like in the Docker file or a VM, you have the sudo access immediately, right? So you don't need to write sudo, but locally, instead of writing apt update, you will write sudo apt update. That's the only difference. Okay. So yeah, so we have run up apt update. I'm going to do it again. It's fine. And the next command is to combat. Next command is to run the apt upgrade. So let's do it. The dash y means say yes to everything. And this should be okay. I hope it's going to be fast enough. I chose a pretty powerful machine. It's supposed to have 16 cores, but we will see. We will see. Yeah. If anyone asked, those Docker files, we didn't have them last week. Yesterday it was a colony in Croatia, but still I want in the evening I had some time, so I wrote the Docker file, a new Docker file for the chain repo, and completely new Docker file for the Ternoa JS repo, the Ternoa SDK repo. I mean, it's amazing to see that we have 15 views. I hope it's not going to be too boring. It's going to be a lot of pauses because this is completely unscripted with a new kernel available. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. Well, I hope this is okay. Let's not install a new kernel. Yeah, let's say it was fine. Okay, let's do apt install kit control. And we only have them. This is great. So this my VM only have those things installed. For your VM, I don't know. You might start from a completely scratch, empty, with just a few commands VM. You might only have one. So yeah, so we are okay with that. So the next thing is to actually install NVM. So all this oh wait, the command I don't mean. So all this said why we do it in this way. Just 1 second. So in order to not have any problems with uh, not having access to some folders, because I don't know why, we're going to do, first we're going to install NVM, then we're going to install Node.js, and then we're going to install globally TypeScript. And right now we just did with NVM. It tells us, okay, we are appending the NVM source to root, this bash rc, also bash complete too, great. And it tells us, okay, close and reopen your terminal to start using NVM. Okay, since we are kinda, so if I do NVM, it's going to say it's not installed because we need to close it and reopen the terminal, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to source the script itself. Let's see. Yeah, and if I write nvm, it now works. So this is another difference. So it's because we don't, I think we're not running the bash shell in the Docker file. When we use it, we run a different one. So you need to use the dot. Which one is this dictionary using? Currently, for working, I use Kubuntu version 22.10. But in the future, I will go back to Ubuntu. Before Kubuntu, I was using some kind of Arch. I forgot which one. Some of the Arch variants. Yeah. So serious people use Linux or Mac OS. So be serious. So we have nvm, which is great. So if I write nvm-b, we're going to get the version. So this works great. The next line is, let's install Node, and the latest one. So we'll write nvm install 18.7.0, and let's see. This should be quite fast. Oh yeah, that's it. But this is not all. We also need to tell the LVM, okay, please use that version that we have just got. So it's nvm use 18, and it says now using Node v18. So yeah, it seems like it's working. So now the next line is to install TypeScript globally. This should, yeah, it's okay. Added one package, blah blah blah, npm stuff, completely unimportant. I will just clear the screen, and kind of the last step in installing dependencies to see if they're working right. So I'll need to check if Node is working. So Node -v or where, I don't know. It's version 18, which is the one that we want to have. And then we can do TypeScript -v, yeah, 4.7.4. So everything is up to date. It is the latest version, and the last one too. I mean, it's not the last one. There are going to be more of them, but it's the latest one. And it seems like it's okay. So we should be quite ready to actually do some examples and run them. But first things first, we need to get the repo link. So we go GitHub Ternoa.js. Is this going to work? Let's see. Oh, it kind of works. I don't know. So this, and it doesn't. Okay. So this is the repo. It's capsule-corp-ternoa/ternoa-js. And we will just get the HTTPS way of cloning it. Let me just remove this. And currently we are here. We're going to just create a working directory. It's going to be called, I don't know, work. What a name. And we're going to do, let's first check if Git is installed. And it seems it's installed. So we're going to do git clone and then the F to it. Let's see. So it's installed here in Ternoa.js. So it's in the directory of all Ternoa.js. And now we should have the core. Okay. Hi Marko, good to see you. Oh, Captain Tsubasa. So you can call me by my first name. I could try. I already forgot what's your first name since I'm constantly saying your last name, Mr. Gabriel. But I will try the end of once we are stuck with something which we're going to be stuck, I will try. Oh my god. So yeah, so I know that you don't pronounce the the final character E or then you are and I don't know. Guyum. I don't know. Guyum. Juyum or Guyum? Guyom. Guyom. Yeah. So you write here Guyom. 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 I will one day I will learn it. But I actually like Mr. Gabriel. It sounds so professional. It sounds like I'm speaking with respect to you, so I like it, I like it. I will keep, oh, hello, Mike Broski. Uh, long time no see, right? I hope that you are here to learn something because I think your skills can be improved. Your Linux skills and JS skills and TypeScript skills. So yeah, please stay with us to learn something new. Linux is much faster. Linux is the fastest machine in the world. I mean, if you look at the top 10 supercomputers, I think they're all Linux based. So yeah. Okay. So where were we? Yeah, okay. We got the Ternoa.js repo, and now we are going to just switch to different branch. I think right now we're on the main branch. We can see that by writing its status, and then we're going to just git checkout to dev. We're just going to pull things. Oh my god, not git good, get good, git pull. Okay, everything's up to date, which is great. So in this case, we should be able to see the Docker file, which is a new one. And if we do cat Docker file, we're going to see the same file that we're seeing down here. Yeah. I like this. I like your, is this an avatar or profile? Who is that? I wonder who that is. I hope it's not me. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we have the latest, commit of the dev branch, and Node is ready, and TypeScript is ready, and focus on the job. Yeah. This is my job to have fun. Okay. And we will now go to the examples file. And in examples file, we have the starter project. Now, just to show you that this starter project is nothing too complex, I will just show you what we have in the index. So what we're going to do is basically connect to the AlphaNet the mkdir. What's the equivalent in the Windows admin? I don't know. I'm not a Windows guy. Anyway, I will connect to the AlphaNet for now. Later, we will connect to our own chain, and then we'll just write some messages and disconnect, and that's all. This is kind of just to see if it works. If this part works, we are kind of on the horse, and everything after that you can just build and add additional stuff to it. Let's try. So what we need to do is kind of compile everything. So we just do tsc, and it's going to say, yeah, something is missing, which kind of means that we didn't do the most important step, and we didn't freaking follow the instructions. Yeah, I forgot to say this is kind of PG-18, so I will to try my best to be normal and professional, but yeah, we need to do npm install, because there are some dependencies, like, I don't know, no dependencies or stuff that we need to install, which are kind of described in the package.json, right? So if you look at package.json, here we see that we have a couple of dependencies, like, the Ternoa library, and, this kind of strict test, ESM. And now if we finally do tsc, this should work without errors. And it does. So tsc, we compiled our index.test to index.js, and we can see that if we do source, ls source, we have here index.js. So let's go just inside the source file and do not, I think it's not in just the name of the file. And that's it. Unbelievable. It took us just half an hour to install all the dependencies. I'm just joking. So this is, for everyone who have ever been asking themselves, how the hell do you do anything? That's basically it. Well, Mike, you're quite late, Mike. If you were here from the beginning, you would know the whole story. I'm going to just repeat it again, just for this, for the sake, why not? We are going to do our best to try and compile some of our examples that we have for our JS, Ternoa JS library. I'm going to show what dependencies to install, and we're going to use Podman or Docker to run a container to see how that works. And in the end, I will try and write a simple program using our SDK, which is going to connect to our local chain, and which is going to, I don't know, mint the NFT or something. So yeah, we're going to do some NFTs, Mike. Are you ready for it? It seems like to me, Mike, that you want to join this call. You want to stream with me? Okay. Yeah, and this is a fully relaxed, live stream. It's just me trying to try stuff, and at the same time, I love you to, no questions are all right. It's a chill live stream, so it's fine. So yeah, this works. The starter project works. So let's try to do it the same with the basic usage example. So this example is a bit more complicated. It's not just connecting and disconnecting. I'll show you right now. So what I can do is, I think, Ctrl-Shift duplicate. Yeah. So the basic usage example is kind of, we initialize the API. We create a collection We create some dog NFTs. Yeah, we NFTs with dog names. We add it to the collection at the same time when we create it. You will see, how to submit transactions, how to, search for events and everything. After that, we will create our own marketplace. We will list our dogs for sale so people can buy them, and we will, in the end, I think we'll just buy one of our NFTs, or our second test account will buy it, and that's it. So it's a simple, flow: create collection, create NFTs which are going to be in that collection, create a marketplace, list your NFTs for sale, and then buy one. It's a super simple one, but enough to explain. It's a really good example to explain the basic principles on how the SDK works. Okay, so, but right now we're not going to go through this file this second, probably later, because we have probably 1.5 hours more of this live stream, or even longer. So Mike says that this was a super simple, yeah, super simple explanation. I know it's not. So we are in a basic example. We're going to do, TSC. Oh my God, yeah. First, we need to install the dependencies. Classic newbie mistake the second time. Okay. The third time, I'm probably not going to do the same mistake. And that's it. We have this, dependency installed. Let's just compile it with TSC. And that's it. It's quite fast. And let's enter the source directory and run the. So this is going to connect to the AlphaNet, do some. Let's make it bigger because. Yeah. So it will take a while. So the reason why it takes a while is that it's so if we talk about Bitcoin, and you kind of never sure if if a transaction has been included in the blockchain, is it finalized or not. I think same for Ethereum. Ethereum usually wait for 12 or 13 blocks to pass after your block, just to be sure that your block is actually finalized, because what can happen is that there can be forks and everything, and depending which fork has been chosen, those kind of blocks will be finalized. So what can happen with Ethereum is that you do a transaction, it is kind of built, it's inside of one block, but that block is not finalized in any way. Any other fork can be chosen as the main one, and this means that your transaction can either happen at the same time when the block was created, or later or sooner, or whatever. On subset-based chains where we use Babe and Grandpa, we have a similar concept, but instead of waiting for 12 blocks or 10 blocks, you kind of just need to wait 3 blocks. So when you submit a transaction and everything, you need to wait for this transaction to be included, and this can take, I think, a maximum like 18 seconds. This is why it takes time. So the question is, let's see, the constant installing of APM of doing npm install. Actually, you don't need to do it every single time. It's just the first time when you clone a repo. It's because how the npm package manager works. Basically, if you want to include some additional external dependencies to your own project, you need to write them inside. I will show inside. I can do it this way. You need to write them inside the package JSON file, and here you need to define. There will be a I mean, this is live stream to Twitch and YouTube, and YouTube has all of our recordings. Most of them. So yeah, it's going to be available. Yeah, back to installing dependencies. So let's say you want to have external dependencies, and dependency, like in this case, this is an external dependency to Node.js and to this thing too. In order to actually use it, you need to first install it. And once if you install it, and I'll do it right here. So I will go inside examples and basic. So once you actually install the dependencies, you will see this node modules folder. And inside this node modules folder, you have all those dependencies that you need in order to run your project. If you look at how many folders and files there are, I mean, it's a huge amount. And this is one of the the issues that JS has with this npm. Actually, npm has is that installs a lot of dependencies. Some of them are okay, some of them are not okay. And if you see vulnerability issues visible on the web for a certain project, if that project is using Node.js, most of the time it's a vulnerability with one of those dependencies. And since you have, like maybe thousands of dependencies, you cannot check them all, right? It will take forever to check them all. But that's why, from this perspective, from the security perspective, npm is garbage. It's literally garbage because you're never secure. And it literally says here zero vulnerabilities right now, this moment. But tomorrow someone can find a vulnerability and then it's going to be 1 or 2 or 5. So yeah, I know Node.js and npm are not perfect, but they are quite easy to use, and that's why we are using right now. Okay, let's go back to here. So basically here we can see some kind of output from running our program, but in the end, yeah, I should have shared my actually we can do it again. So I will be running this script again, and at the same time I'm going to show you how it looks like from the Polka app UI, so that you can see that actually something is happening and not, at the time not just displaying some garbage information. So I will do again, I will just enter source here. I will open AlphaNet, dev nodes, production nodes, AlphaNet nodes. I will make it a bit bigger. So right now there are no events. So if I run our beautiful script again, it's here, we're going to be seeing some kind of things happening. Okay, so here we have created our collection. This has been done by our own script. We created so NFTs, 10 of them. Here it says 10. We bashed a call. We did 10 transactions. We created a marketplace. And the next call is going to be listing our NFTs. And the last operation is going to be selling that NFT. And I'll just briefly go over what has happened. So when you do any kind of operation on the blockchain, you get some kind of information back what is happening. In this case, when you create a marketplace, you will get the information. Hey, a marketplace has been created, or hey, you just created your collection. And in this case, we create this Board Dog Yacht Club collection. This is kind of influenced by the Board Ape Yacht Club, whatever. So this is a Board Dog Yacht Club. It's our own kind of VIP NFT that we have created, and it tells us, okay, this account has created this collection. The name is this. On the off-chain data, you usually put a link, okay, but in this case, it's just a simple. So is this data stored as JSON? This is actually a good question. No. So all the data that you're seeing here is stored inside the blockchain database, and the database looks something like a Merkle root tree. It's a special structure, and it's not really easy to understand it, because if you look at the raw bytes, they mean nothing to you. They're basically raw bytes. You need to decode them to actually get some information back. And this, Polka.js API basically gets the data and decodes the data and shows it. This is how it looks like. Now the question is, why they're not saving everything as JSON or everything? It's because JSON is quite inefficient memory-wise, and it's much easier to store raw bytes, read them and parse them, than to have something out of JSON saved somewhere. So I don't understand the question, Mike. Can you reformulate it? Okay, yeah. So after our collection, we did a batch call. Okay, this is a good question. So can you mint a video and have its thumbnail image shown up in the Ternoa wallet app using metadata and object? I don't know. The reason I don't know is because I am not part of the metadata specification team. So I don't know how the specification for metadata looks like, and I don't know what wallet can do, what kind of information can it extract from the metadata. Obviously, if you're making your own app, you can do whatever you want from the metadata. No, this is up to you. But no, our current wallet, I'm not sure if we can do it right now. Using metadata, okay. Now, this is the second topic. I think it's quite important. Nowhere. Bazinga. We are working on, we are actually, and I'm not joking, so no cap, for real. We are actually working on having NFT and metadata specification publicly available as soon as possible. So there is some kind of specification. Maybe there is somewhere outside. I don't know. But I know that we have one in our internal documents, which might not be up to date. But we are actively working on making sure that we have it somewhere specified, publicly available for you to see and comment. Okay. I have been pushing for the. I have been pushing for this since, I don't know, last 2 weeks. So you can kind of expect to see it quite soon. Soon TM, okay? Soon TM, always. Never just soon. I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. But we learn, we make mistakes, we learn, so it's going to be publicly available. But you raised a really good question. So this off-chain data, it seems like, like a place where you would store some kind of, I don't know, image or a video, but it's not really the case. It's a place kind of where you put your own information which makes sense to you, or it should make sense to other applications. In this case, I don't care about any wallet. I don't care about any other application. I just care about myself and about what I'm doing and what I want to do. So here I have written board doc yet club. Okay, this is my decision. But like Bruce Lane has said, we are going to have a public available specification on what kind of information you should have there in order for other apps to understand it. Okay, doesn't make sense to just have your stuff there if others cannot understand it. Maybe it makes sense for your product, for your audience, but for the most audience, for the most products, he will have something standard. It could look like IPFS link to a JSON file, and in this JSON file you will have some kind of information about the collection itself. Okay, information could be maybe a name or a full name or a description or a story or an image of the collection or a video of the collection or something. So from your perspective, you can put whatever you want, literally whatever you want in the JSON file. It doesn't need to be in a JSON file. It can be anything. But we're trying to standardize this, so it's probably going to be a JSON syntax, and it's going to probably have like 4 or 5 fields like name, description, image, and video, whatever. So this is work in progress. I will tell the guys in the team. Do you recommend storing assets? Okay, this is a good question. I'm not a good. To be honest, I'm the worst person to answer this question. In some cases, it makes sense to store them on IPFS because you're kind of sure especially if you run your own IPFS node. So for those guys who don't know what IPFS is, it's basically a decentralized, I would say, kind of blockchain, but for storing the data, basically. That's it. It's a decentralized system to store data. And it's quite amazing because anyone can run their own node, connect to, let's say, IPFS kind of cluster, and they all can store the data inside. In case, let's say, my node died, so Europe dies for some reason, there are still some nodes available in the Asia or Africa which have all those information stored. So it's kind of a redundant system where, in whatever case, if half of the nodes die or 99%, there's still some way to get it. Can you show how you grab the API and pass the blockchain address, or is that a no? Which API? If you're talking about our SDK, I will show you. If you're talking about how to upload stuff on IPFS, I might show it later if I have the time. But yeah, it's a decentralized system. Yeah, it's kind of like a mesh. Yeah, it's kind of like a mesh, and it's really great because think about it. You own the data, and the data is always going to be there. And if you compare it to existing systems like AWS or Google or Drive, whatever, you don't own the data. You don't own it. And if they decide to delete it for whatever reason they want, because the government is pushing for it, because they hate you, they can do it without any reason. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do? Cry? So yeah, IPFS is it's a really great place to store the data and to have it forever, kind of forever. Nothing is forever, obviously, but you own it. You can run your own node. You can store your own data, whatever. So it's really a neat solution. So going back, to the question, should you store images or videos on IPFS? I think this question is more like it depends on your use case. Okay, it really depends. So if you want to have a product where you completely, in every possible way, can interact with your data, you can remove it, delete it, change it, update it, or whatever you want, then it makes sense to store it on your own servers, which should not be IPFS. Because with IPFS, once you store it there, you get a link and that's it. You cannot change it. That's it. You cannot if you change the image and store it again, you will get a different link. But if you store it on your own server, you can have a link and you can go to the right video or the wrong one, or you can do whatever you want. So if you have this really specific use case with your product where everything needs to be tightly controlled by you, then you're going to spin up your own servers, probably multiple of them, and you're going to store it on your servers. Now, if you don't need tight control, and if you're not going to update existing images and change leaks, then it makes sense to store it on IPFS, either your own IPFS server or nodes or cluster, or on the public ones like Ternoa Public, or I think there are other ones too. So yeah, it's all about on the product. So yeah, so if you're going to store the data on your own server, then you have a lot of options. You can either you can either have IPFS nodes on your server, or you can just store it raw there and get it. No, it's up to you. But as long as you understand that, in the first option, if you store it on your own IPFS cluster, the links are fixed. You cannot change them. A link is always going to point to the same thing. This is how IPFS works. But in the case where you store it on your database or whatever, where you can control whatever you want, then you can have one link point to one stuff, and in the future you can change it to point to a different thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a really good use case. Okay, hope you can. Oh, my browser change the image. Yeah, I will try. So I have this. Sorry, I have this script somewhere where I did some IPFS things, and we will try them. Okay, we will try them. Okay, let's continue. Okay. uh, okay, NFT created. Yeah. So for any action, like let's go completely back. Um, yeah, let me finish this and then I will answer more questions. Um, no, whatever operation we do is going to be visible on the chain, even if this operation fails. Okay, there are cases where or your transaction can fail even before it gets executed. Like we have a hard limit on how long the off-chain data can be in bytes. If you try to put something which has 1 kilobyte, it's going to fail even before the transaction has been executed at all, which is great because you're not wasting money at all. But in other cases where there is some kind of, let's say, a runtime logic, we need to execute a transaction to see first if it is faulty or not. Okay, so something can be done before the execution, and things can be done during the execution. The difference is if there is a error before the execution, you don't pay anything. If there is error during the execution, you still need to pay for executing the transaction. So those are the differences. Okay. So you guys who are actually using the UI of the Polkadot apps UI, Polkadot.js apps, I think that's the official name. You probably kind of use this huge number and see, okay, what we have listed NFTs for this huge amount of cap. It's not the case. It's about formatting. So in order to actually understand what's the actual price of this, you need to understand that in this format, in order to display one caps, you need to write one with 18 zeros. Okay. And if you did remove 18 zeros for this, you will get the price in caps. Okay, so if you remove 18 zeros, so 369, 369. So the price is actually 100 caps. It's not 1 trillion, jillion, billion. It's actually 100 caps. And the commission fee is nothing because I think this is our own marketplace. But yeah. And then the next event is, wow, someone has actually bought our NFT. You can see the price. You can see how much the marketplace got for, and how how much the original author got from it. Okay, this kind of makes sense for secondary sales, not the first sale. So if I just created an NFT and I sell it to someone, obviously I'll get, if not more, everything. It depends, on the marketplace. But in the secondary sales, you as an NFT creator will always get a cut. So if I create an amazing art, let's say I make this plush, an art out of this, and I sell it to Mike Broski, and then Mike Broski decides to sell it to, let's say, to Bruce Lane. The fact that this is a secondary sale from Mike Broski to Bruce Lane, I will get a cut of it because I am the original creator, and there are some royalties, and I will get cut of it. And this is great because it's a good way to to for the authors or the creators to get the right intention, right? Because if I sold my amazing picture for let's say $10, and then later someone sells it for $1 million, it would be really great if the original creator actually gets a cut of it. And this is how it works. So 2%, yeah, this is something that you can define. I think when you I don't know, somewhere when you create the NFT, I think here you kind of define. I think it's set to 10% or something. I don't know, 1%. I'm not sure. But yeah, it can be anything from 0 to 100 up to 2 decimals, I think, or 3 decimals. So it can be 0.55, it can be 25.72, it can be 42.69. So it can be also it can be also 80 if you want, which is 420 in French, right? To say 80, you say 420. So yeah, it's and this is the difference that we have. So the guys who are watching this, if you know about Remark and what they are doing, and they are all in the same space, and they're also our competitor, but at the same time, we should be friends. They have royalties, but they don't enforce them. So their stand or whatever is that it's up to the app developer to actually do something with royalties. And this is one opinion, and it doesn't mean it's a wrong one. It makes sense, I would say. But what we are doing is kind of the opposite. So we have our own marketplace. You can create your own marketplace on chain too. We already have some marketplaces on chain, and those marketplaces that are on chain, they are respecting the royalties. Okay, so I will give you a suggestion, guys. So if an app has a marketplace on chain, this is a good app. Okay, it is an app that you can trust. If the app doesn't have it on chain, well, I cannot guarantee you if they're going to respect your royalties. Okay, I cannot do that. This is just how it is, because it's just information on the chain. You can always create a off-chain marketplace, and for you guys who maybe are not familiar with on-chain and off-chain, basically on-chain it means we have features dedicated to this directly on the chain. So I can give you examples. So if you want to create an NFT, you can do it by calling a on-chain extrinsics. It's going to be available on-chain, it's going to be visible, it's going to be public, so you get all the benefits. But certain features you can do off-chain, and by off-chain means that you have your own, I don't know, database or ND app or whatever, and you do all the calculations outside the chain, which is not visible, and you can do whatever you want. Okay, and this is the case that the remark guys are saying. So what's the point of any kind of enforcement of these royalties if the app developer can choose if they want to respect it or not, right? It's up to them. And I agree with it. They should choose that. But you as a blockchain creator, architect, or developer, you should provide the necessary infrastructure for anyone else to actually build a marketplace on chain, so that it uses the facility that you have. So, and that's the royalties. So if you use an app which has an on-chain marketplace, you can be sure that royalties will be respected, which is great. You want that. You as an NFT creator, you want that the royalties are respected. Again, if it is off-chain, the app might not, or it can if it wants, respect it. But yeah, okay. We are probably going to have more of these kind of sessions where I go through, all those different things about the blockchain and how it works, because I think there is a lot of things to discuss. And again, everything what I say is again my opinion. And just like in math or in programming, there are multiple solutions to the same problem. Some of them are more suitable to your needs, some of them are less. Okay, so let's get back. So we run the starter project. It's basically connecting and disconnecting. It works. We have run the basic usage example project, which creates NFTs, collections, marketplace. It works. So you're kind of good to go. If you have done if you have been here for half an hour, the first half an hour, you should be okay. You can do whatever you want with our examples now, and it's up to you to build the SDK. Now you're going to say, Marko, this is great. I know how to compile. I know how to run. But if you don't provide some kind of NFT specification, or tell me what features you have, how can I build anything, right? And in this place, we have some kind of documentation for that. I hope you agree with me. I think it's let me just find it quite quickly. So if I go npm and Ternoa.js, yeah, come on. Here you will see, we had some documentation in the GitHub repo itself through README and Wiki. We have some documentations here too, and I think we have where are you? there should be a link to a reference manual, which displays all the functionality that we have on the SDK and all the events and all the structures and classes, which can be super useful. Instead of you going inside the code looking what we have this reference manual, and for some reason I cannot find it. This is oh, it's here. Yeah. So when you write npm and search for Ternoa SDK, down below here in documentation, you click on Ternoa SDK, and this is just the reference manual. And here you have all the events, whatever that we have, functions, extrinsics, and you can click on it, and you have the definition on what it does, the name of it, parameters. It will be explained, and what are the return types. Obviously, this is not perfect, right? Reference manuals are great, but you'll need real-life documentation. That's why we have the examples that we have right now, and we are making new ones. And I know it's shocking. We are actually making new examples. So they should be available soon in the dev branch, I think next week or in 2 weeks. Yeah, shortcut npm install Ternoa.js, and you have our library ready to be used in your project. Just make sure that you know what you're doing, as always. Yeah, this is this. So this is that, and we are. Let me see if this works. This I will call this is one of the best things that we have. Okay, you might not agree with me, but I want to say thank you to Igor and Victor and the other guys who have been working on this. This is a masterpiece. Okay, so basically, you can do your stuff. You can open. You don't need. You can open Visual Studio Code. You can write code there, and that's going to be fine and great. But sometimes you want to have something which is just in the browser and ready for you to see and test. And this Ternoa.js test app, I think this is kind of an old version, like a really old version. The guys haven't deployed a new one, but basically it's a place where you can see the extrinsics that we have in a really interactive way, and then you can enter all the things that you will. So let's say you want to create an NFT. Either you can do it through the SDK, which again, you need to understand how to use the SDK and everything, or you can go through the Polka apps UI, which I showed you, like 2 minutes ago, which is not really the best one for new users. But here, with our, this kind of example app that we have, you can, in a very interactive way, do it without installing anything. So it tells you, what kind of information you need to fill. You click on Min NFT and you get the NFT. And on the right side, you can see how this whole process could look like if you do it using our SDK. So at the same time, you have this beautiful, again, I'm sorry, this old version, it misses a lot of things. You will see in the new version, it contains way more stuff. But in the same way, you can see what things you need to enter, to have to create an NFT. And at the same time, you can see what kind of things you need to do in the SDK, to create it. Obviously, those samples are not minimal at all. Okay, there are kind of full examples. It tells you what exactly you need to import. It also has some, error handling. So I'll just make it a bit bigger. You have this try and catch. So we have also error handling, and it tells you, in the end, if we want to have a fully minimal example, you just need one line. Okay, and this is it. Okay, if you want to create an NFT, you just need to write one single line. Okay, that's it. If you want to create a collection, one single line. If you want to sell your list, your NFT, whatever, one single line. Okay, everything is done via one single line. Okay, isn't that amazing? So, okay, Igor is here, so I will just read his message. Thank you, Victor, for being here. He said, for those with a good appetite risk, check the next version available. The release candidates are not 100% stable, but kind of ready to go in production. Example, npm install Node.js 1.2.0-rc0. It gives a good view of what's coming out in the next release. Yeah. If you have, I think you haven't been from the start. We're actually doing that. So we switched to the dev branch, and we are kind of using the latest things that are available there. But yeah, I know I like to live on the edge. The dev branch is not meant to be 100% stable, but I think it's quite okay. And yeah, thank you, Victor. Yeah, Victor 64 and not 69 is one of our developers, and I hope you're the right Victor. And he was, he's part of this Ternoa JS Test Dev project. And if you have any questions regarding Ternoa JS Test Dev, please tag Victor in the chat and ask him, or in Discord. But yeah, more about this, I think maybe next week or 2 weeks, when we are kind of close to have fully finalized product, because this will be a product, a real product. Okay, I think that's for it. We're going to go back, and we're going to try to run the Docker image. Now, why do we even have a Docker image, and what's the point of the Docker image? Sometimes you don't really want to fight with dependency install, having the right operating system available, blah blah blah. You might be on, I don't know, Windows, you might be on Mac OS, you might be on Linux, Fedora, Arch, Ubuntu, Debian, whatever. And fighting with dependencies, fighting with rights can be a cumbersome and a fully annoying process. I apologize about that. I know it's not ideal, but that's just how it is. I know even sometimes the Windows, the makers of Windows, you think what they are doing, because they clearly hate developers. But okay, but at least they're trying with Windows subsystem for Linux, so they're at least trying something. Okay. Yeah, so in order to run the Docker image, there are a couple of ways how we can do it. You can either use Docker or Podman. Podman, I think it's available on Linux and macOS, and I think WSL, and Docker is available everywhere. But since I'm a person who likes, open stuff, I will install Podman. I think in order to install, we just need to run apt install Podman. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, it can work, and we'll just do it. So Podman is a tool to basically manage containers. And you guys who are new to container stuff and cube stuff or whatever, I'm not going to be too much helpful to you, because I'm not proficient in that at all. I'm more like a noob to it, but yeah. Okay, new kernel is available. Okay, good to know. I will just continue because I don't really care. Okay, obviously for some reason it's upgrading the kernel right now, but let it do it. It's work. Okay, let me just see again if it's installed. It's installed. Okay, we are ready to use it. Now let's see if it works. Podman-v. It works. Pro tip: if you're using a Linux operating system, if you're using if you're using a Linux distribution, if you install any kind of software, usually when you write the name of the software and -v, you get a version of it, which tells you if it works or not. We did the same thing with Node and TypeScript earlier. Okay. Yeah, Mike Browski, I will try to see. I mean, you can try Docker, it definitely works. But if you want to do any serious work, I mean, you can still do it. Okay, I think the SDK you can do without problem on Windows. But for the chain stuff, if you want to build our chain, definitely look into WSL. Okay. Yeah, can you just, not a number, can you just paste the link here for the discussion so I can show it? Stop bullying Windows users. I'm not. I used to be a Windows user. I'm still am, but to be honest, for working, I think at least coding stuff, I prefer Linux. But yeah, okay, we have Podman, and then in order to run our container, there are two ways how we can run. Actually, we run an image, let's say, or a container. First, you build the image yourself, so you get the image for somewhere, And then, there are amazing places where you can get those images. I'll just show you. So if you, I think it's called Docker Hub. So this is one of those places where you can, search for images. Let's say if you search for Ubuntu, you have an image of Ubuntu. So you can do Podman run, I think just Ubuntu, and you get a Ubuntu image running immediately. You have a Ubuntu system with everything. So you don't need to install any kind of, what are the names, virtual machines or anything. This will work. Well, this will immediately work. You don't need a virtual machine. This will just work. Install Docker, right? Literally one line of code, execute one line of code, and bam, you have your own Ubuntu. And there are other, images too. I think for Node 2, there is a Node 1. For Polkadot, there is one too, I think. Yeah, here. Oh, $10 million. That's quite a lot. So I think there are a lot of images. So let me just see for a second. Okay, I'm getting some messages which I should probably check. So give me 1 second. No. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Okay. URL forbidden. Did you start a discussion on Ternoa JS or Ternoa Hub? Yeah. So I'm not sure where those specifications are going to be kind of located, but I got the feeling they're going to be in the Ternoa Hub. We're going to probably have a folder here with specifications and everything. Discussion 62 on Ternoa JS. Discussions Ternoa JS 62. Is it this one? Yeah, this is the upload image. Yeah. It's this one. Yeah. I think Igor, he wrote some of the information on how the metadata should look like, but it's not in the JSON. It's not the JSON format. In case if everything is too fast for you, it's fine. This is kind of me doing this live stream for the first time, or this kind of live stream, so it's all right. We're going to have more live coding sessions, like way more, so it's going to be all right. And I will do my best to help you with any questions that you have, literally anything, as long as I have the rights to answer them, and as long as they are in my domain. It's okay. It's all right. Okay. Yeah, Podman. So we have this Docker image. Oh my God. Good cat Docker file, not Docker image. So we have this Docker file which kind of explains what steps the container or the image needs to do in order to build it itself to be properly. Again, I'm going to too much into it because I myself don't know everything about it, and I'm completely new to it. But what we can do is we can write Podman build. T means for tag is going to be named amen, and it's going to be dot, which means it must be in the lowercase. Okay. So right now we're building an image that is going to contain all the dependencies installed, and once we run the image, so we create once we run the container, we're going to run the basic starter project script. This is another way how we can do it without installing all the dependencies. Well, like I said in the beginning, when I was making those Docker images or files, Jesus Christ, I was making the Docker files. I made sure that you can basically just copy and paste all those commands from the Docker file to the command line and execute them. So that's another way of documenting how to do things. Here you can see that we, installing NVM like we did. We're checking the versions here of, the files just like we did. So, we were following it. So, yeah. So it's ready. It tells us, okay, it's successfully tagged. So now if we do podman images, we have two images. First is the Ubuntu one, because this is our base image. And then we have the R ones, which has 600 megabytes. Again, but doesn't really matter right now. Okay, in order to run it, basically you just need a CID, and then you can do podman run, and then the ID of it. And if you run, you will get the same messages that we had before. So we connected to AlphaNet, we disconnected, and we're done. So those are two ways. So either you manually install the dependencies and run the starter project, or you use our existing image and just run it. Now you can be asking, okay, Marko, this is not really useful. If I just run the image, I'm getting these messages. That's all. How can I do anything there, right? Well, what you usually do with those kind of images is that you actually go inside. So you run a container out of this image and go inside the container. And inside that container, you already have everything installed. So I'm not going to be showing that right now because it's kind of out of scope. And I'm not really sure how to do it. I think it's Docker run interactive. It needs to be detached. And then I can kind of enter in, not Docker, podman, I'm sorry, podman. And I should be kind of, inside of it. Maybe I don't know, but I will cover this in the next video. So that instead of you installing everything on your machine, you can just install either Docker or Podman, and then you have all the dev environment already set for you. So everything is going to be installed, all the dependencies. The project is going to be probably cloned and everything. You just need to run it, and then you can develop. And this is really great because Visual Studio Code can connect to a Docker container. So you can use Windows code in Visual Studio Code and connect it to a running instance of container, and you don't need to install anything. You need to install WSL. You don't need to install anything fancy besides Visual Studio Code and Docker. That's all, which is to me kind of amazing. I would probably do I don't know, video about how to do it, because I think it's quite neat. And we already have done that before for SGX related matter, because it's just super useful, And you will see why is this super useful when we go to the chain repo, which is kind of scary one, because there are way more dependencies that you need to install, and things can go way more wrong, So yeah, that's it. Okay, so we have done that, and it's all great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unshare my screen. I'm going to reset that, should I reset it? No, I'm not going to reset. I will just SSH again, and now we're going to do the second part, and that's the chain one. So I'm not going to show, I will show you what commands you need to run in order to install all the dependencies for, in order to run our chain. But what we're going to do actually is we're going to run the Docker file that or a Docker container or whatever, because it's just much easier, okay? And for that, instead of connecting to a VM, I will be sharing my local desktop, so my workstation machine, and because it's just easier, okay? I just don't want to have the Visual Studio Code connected to the VM and the same thing connected maybe to the container, whatever, just to make your and my life simpler. I will do it here locally. So I'll be sharing the screen again. I did some changes last minute, so I'm not sure if it's going to work anymore, but we will see. Let's just close this project for a moment and let's open the chain one. Okay, not this one. Jesus, Ash, Christ. Okay, am I done? Okay. You don't work with me. Open workspace. Close window. Don't save. Okay. All is good. All is good. I don't know why. Yeah, usually probably because I had some unsaved things. Because usually when you open Visual Studio Code, you get this nice, window where you can select your recent. But yeah, whatever. This should be okay too. And I don't know if you can hear my, PC is already, ramping up and using a lot of CPU. Let's see. How do I system monitor? Yeah, okay. Usually it ramps up because it needs to index everything and blah 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 and getting these annoying errors. But yeah. So we will be looking now at the Docker file of the chain repo. So why are we talking about chain repo? How is it correlated or related in any way to the SDK? It's the chain repo basically is a repository which, if you build it and run it, you have your own blockchain. Okay, so if you ever wanted to have your own blockchain, bam, go to our repo, build it yourself using compile it yourself, or use the Docker file, and you have your own chain. That's it. That's literally it. You don't have to do anything else. That's it. Okay. I know it sounds easy because it is easy. It is really easy. And again, I will be showing you the most easiest way possible using Podman or Docker, doesn't really matter. But in my case, it's going to be Podman. So we will be running our own local instance of the chain. We're going to see it on the Polka API UI, and we're going to see it on the telemetry data screen. And let me just check if I didn't mess up anything with the file here. I think we are okay. So it's going to be the same process, but this time it's going to be a bit longer, okay? And it's going to be a bit more complicated, and I apologize for that, because there are, again, it's a more complex project, and obviously you need to do more complex stuff. So I will be opening a new terminal. Just zoom it a bit, and it's going to take a while to compile, okay, which is okay. This is going to allow me to spend some time talking about what exactly is this Docker thing doing, and if you want to compile things yourself, what you need to do. So let me just go to projects, Ternoa chain. We're going to do Podman. Again, build. We want to build an image. We're going to call it main again, and we're just going to say, okay, build this image, and it will always say, okay, Ubuntu, we already have that. We don't need to get it again, and this will take a while, and I will just again try to make it so that you can see both screens. I'll do my best in that. Can I do it? No. Okay. No. Oh yeah. Oh, nice. Okay. Finally, I managed to do it. yeah, we, if you're installing, if you want to build, the chain repo, you need to do, some similar operations, just like we have done for the Ternoa repo or SDK. You need to update your Linux and you need to upgrade it. I think this is unnecessary. I will remove it. I think it's not unnecessary because you might get in this annoying, you need to update your kernel informations or warnings or whatever. But then the next step is quite important. You need to install some basic and essential dependencies before we install Rust. Okay, you need to install Clang, curl, some build essentials and everything. Again, it's super easy. You just copy and paste it to your command line or terminal, and it will work if you have root access. If you don't have root access, just write, sudo in front of it, and it's going to be just fine. That's it. After we have installed, the basic dependencies, what the hell, spider? Then we get the script which is going to, yeah, I'm using Kubuntu. I'll write it here, Kubuntu. I think it's 2010, yeah, here. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing is basically just curls means getting from the web. It gets this Rust app script, and we save it inside a file. We say, okay, with this, chmod u plus x gives the rights to execute this sh script, and then we execute it. And we did something similar what we have done before in the Ternoa.js. This dot means we source, and we get the information about the cargo and Rust executables where they are located by running this. When you're doing this, yeah, I'm probably going to lagging because this is building and using all my cores. Let's just check it. System. Where are you? This system. Yeah, you can see. So I have a 8-core machine, 16 threads, and it's fully packed. So yeah, but it should be done quite soon. If you have a hard time hearing me, I will just stop and wait for this to finish. Okay. But yeah, if you're doing this locally or on a VM, you don't. If you're doing this locally, you don't need to do this operation. Where is it? Yeah, you need to do this operation. You can just close the terminal and reopen it again. That's all. This is just a faster way. And then you need to run Rust update and Rust app show. Make sure when you run this that you are located inside the chain repo. Okay. Because if you're inside the chain repo and you run Rust app update and Rust app show, this will get all the things that you need. So you get all the right Rust version, the right nightly Rust version, and everything, including the compilers or whatever. And literally the last command is to build a binary. And when you do it locally, you will just write, instead of this whole line, you will write cargo build dash log dash release. But since this is a Docker file, and it's a bit stupid, it needs to look like this. So I apologize. A release means we are building the release build and not in the debug, and locked means don't touch anything, just do what you need to do. That's basically it. And this is kind of it. Then you have your binary ready, you can run it. And this is the next stage where we copy the binary to a completely new empty machine, okay, empty stage, and we define some stuff so it's available. And the most important part here is we define the entry point of where once we run the image, what's going to execute. So once you run this image, which is going to be just generated, it's going to execute the Ternoa binary. So you run podman run the image ID, it's going to execute the Ternoa binary. Now the question is, what flags are we going to use? Okay. Oh, you cannot see it. Yeah, okay. So the flags are dash chain alphanet dev. So I will go. Why is this annoying? So I will go, actually flag by flag and tell you what exactly they are doing. So this is the first kind of flag that we have, dash dash chain. Basically, we tell the system to use the AlphaNet dev configuration. So the couple of configuration that we have, so blockchain configuration, each blockchain configuration can have a completely different, let's say, style of blockchain. Okay, one configuration can be like generate like Ethereum style blockchain. One configuration can generate a Bitcoin, or it can be like a substrate, whatever. So you can do whatever you want. Okay. In this case, AlphaNet-dev means it's going to run the configuration which has our features. Okay. The next is dash dash Alice. It means, okay, we will be running as a validator and our main account, and we're going to use Alice as, kind of the account which is going to produce blocks. More about it later. Dash dash temp means obviously we need to store the blockchain data somewhere, right? Besides the chain itself, there are some additional information that we store, like the keys for the validator keys, and some networking information. And by using dash dash temporary means store it somewhere temporary. I don't care. That's it. That's literally it. Store it somewhere temporary. I don't really care. If you have kind of your own product, your own chain, because you can always fork our chain, build your own. Everything is open source. You can do it. Nothing is stopping you. In the production, if you're running your own node, you will probably point to a directory, a real one, not a temporary one, a real one, and it's probably going to be in your host machine. Okay, if you're using a container, you need to point to a directory in your host machine. If you're doing it bare metal, so you're compile everything yourself, it's just a normal path. That's all. Then we have the name, which is basically the name of the node. This is going to be visible in the telemetry UI. I'll show you. And then the other information is kind of unsafe. It says unsafe. It means scary. But in our case, we don't really care. It basically means, hey, I'm running a chain. You can connect to it using RPC or WS. I don't care. Just allow it. If you're a professional node operator, you're not going to have this. Okay, you're going to remove this because you don't want random people to connect to your node in any possible way. Okay, but since we're doing some testing and everything, this is completely nice. And this RPC cores, all it ties everything together. Telemetry, the less important one is the telemetry URL. Basically, it says any kind of telemetry information about the node, send it to this location, which is telemetry.polkadot.io submit. It seems like we are almost done, and it's done. Okay, so we have our image. I will actually show you. So if I do podman, actually we don't need this anymore. We're going to need it, but so if I do podman images, why is that here? You will see that we have our image. This is our final image. It has 177 megabytes, and the kind of the I would say the first image that we had to be used to build the binary, it has like 10 gigabytes. But again, I'm getting this. Yes. Okay. That's it. So we have the image. Let's run it to see. It's finally done. We can just run the image. It's going to be working just fine. So in order to run the image, we need to do podman run, and then we just need to do the image ID. Okay. Podman run, paste, and that's it. So you will be seeing that you're only getting information about the chain running. So in the beginning, you will have some basic information about your own PC. or your own machine. That would be more correct. And here you can see some other stuff like the operating system, the CPU architecture, the CPU, how many cores it has, the version of the node that you're running, the name of the specification. So when we have wrote dash chain alphanet dash dev, basically we are running the Ternoa alphanet development specification. And authority, the role authority means that we kind of a validator. And as you can see here, if you look at the best, so if you just look at the best and it grows, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, it means we are producing blocks. Now this is completely useless to you. Like, it's, what can you do with it, right? Nothing. So what we're going to do is we want to connect to this machine, and by default, any container, the ports are not exposed. Okay, this means that if we want to connect to this blockchain, it's not going to work because the ports are not exposed. So what we're going to do, we literally going to expose those ports. And what ports you need to expose is written in the Docker file. And if you do cat Docker file, you will see it says 3033, 9933, 9944, and 9615. So those ports, if you expose them, they're going to be available. No, they don't need to be open via router because you're not going to the internet, right? You're not sending any messages to the internet because everything is done locally. But since container is running in its own sandbox environment, you need to expose the ports of the container to your host machine. So this is how it should look like. So I'll do it right now. It's a bit cumbersome, I understand, but I think I have written them here somewhere. Let's see. I hope I didn't close. Oh my god. Let me find, because it's a bit annoying to write them. Yeah. So I think there are those. So I'll just copy and paste them because why not? If you need to communicate with the net through the node, not just with, yeah. So if you want to expose your node to the internet, obviously those ports need to be exposed on your host machine and on your firewall, which is on your host machine, or on your firewall on your router. So yeah. So I copy this. Basically, we are saying, map this, IP and port to this port, TCP and this UDP port. Since I don't have much time, I just got a message that I need to finish quite soon. I will tell you about those ports later or tomorrow. I hope we're going to have a session tomorrow. And now we should be able to connect to it, I hope, and let's do it. So dev nodes, local node, and fingers crossed, and it works. So we are right now connected to our own local instance of the chain. Isn't that beautiful? And if you scroll, if somewhere here, you will see the information that we have someone trying to connect. Let me just refresh. You see accepting your connection. Yeah, you don't see anything because I'm not. So I wrote it like this. So if I restart the connection, you will see that actually someone is connecting, and that's we are trying to reconnect again. And now we can do some crazy stuff. We can create NFT and we'll do all kinds of things here, and we're going to do that but using SDK. Okay, and I kind of need to speedrun this, so I'll do my best and see if I can actually speedrun it. So let's go to the Ternoa.js and let's go to the starter project. Where are you? Starter project. And I think then in oh my god, init API. Yeah, first need to do npm install. So let's not forget that. So cd examples, starter project, we need to do npm install. It's okay, and now we should be able to have some linting, and then we can pass endpoint here. and the endpoint is basically this bad boy. So it's a local, address we exposed the post there. So, and this should mean that we should be able to connect to our channel. Let's see if it works. So we're going to do TSC, and then we are going to come on, okay, and then we are going to just run it. So clear node source index.js. Let's see. And yeah, you see, we accepted a new connection to of one hub, which means that we are connected with the Polka UI, apps UI, and VR code. And now we're going to do some. Let's create some, NFTs. Let's just, to show you how you usually do it, is just go to the example project. You copy whatever here is. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's create a collection. Just copy the code here, from here to here. Remove let's remove the annoying comment so it's more visible what's happening. And we're going to name the collection broke Mikeski. Okay. Obviously, we missing some imports, so we can do some things like that. I think. Let me just see if I'm doing it correctly. Where are you? I think it could be like that. And we need to create collection. Where are you? And we're gonna create NFT. Limit and key are missing. Probably I have deleted them, so limit is 10. About what those things do, well, what's the point of limit? What's the point of keying? I will discuss it tomorrow. Okay. Just do it. Yeah, I don't care. Let's add this in here, and we need to import this. So we get the keyring, we set up everything, we create a collection, and we are just not going to, we're just going to console log it, and we're also going to create an NFT. Where are you? Yeah. So await create NFT. What we need is some off-chain data. It's going to be my dog NFT, because dogos are my doggo NFT. That's why not. Royalty 0. I don't care. Collection ID. It's a number. I think this is a mistake. Let's see. No, it's not. It can be undefined. Yeah, it's going to be undefined because I don't care. It's all bound now. Keyring. Yeah. Keyring. False. And we will wait until it's included in a blog. So again, more about this probably tomorrow. You're going to get the event. Blog. Okay, let's hope this works. Okay. Let's really hope that this is going to be working. So we're going to have two screens, this one and this one. We're going to follow what's happening in the events. I know we want to see, but I will do it tomorrow. Okay, I have to deal with something, and they told me I have just 2 more minutes left, so I apologize for that. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Yeah, so let's compile this script. I hope they are not okay. A random dot. I'm really sorry about IPFS. It's only going for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and they told me, yeah, I need to go. So let me go to source, and now we'll run this example. So the key point here is that we are going to run our own program, okay, our own app using the Ternoa JS using our own chain. Okay, we have our own chain, our own instance of the chain running locally, and we're going to create those NFTs on our chain. Obviously, this doesn't cost anything because it's our chain and we can have unlimited money. So, let's do this and let's see if it's going to work. I hope it's going to work. I hope I didn't make a mistake, because it can happen. Yeah, so it works. At least the collection. So we created a collection in here. It's named Broke Mixky. And we created NFT with the name My Dogo NFT. Obviously, this is kind of boring, right? And the off-chain data needs to be some kind of IPFS URL. I will try my best, and I will see if I can find a meaningful off-chain data IPFS URL in a minute. Now give me a minute, and let's see if I can find it. And it's just a second. So if I have this amazing software, I will send you the link to it. It's one of the best things in the world. But I just need to find the IP of it, IP address. So it's somewhere here. And if I do copy, it's this one, and then this. Let's see if this will work. So during one weekend, I made a small program which is basically NFT viewer in a way. Obviously, it doesn't work for some reason because it's not the right link. But whatever. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay, I don't think it's not NFT. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, sorry for let me just see myself. Oh my god, I have so many windows. We don't care about that. Okay, so I made this application in one day. Basically, I will send you the link to it. Let's see. It's not even secure. It's just HTTP. So when you click show random NFT, it actually fetches a random NFT from the blockchain, and then it displays it. And it's completely random. It has some issue displaying movies like this. But what you can do is you can right click, open image, a new tab, and then you can say it's a video, right? And it's kind of really cool because you get the NFT ID, you get the title, you get the description, and I could make this project kind of public, but I think I lost. Maybe I'm not sure where I have the source code anymore. Probably on the VM itself. But yeah, it's a cool project, and you just get a random NFT every time you click, random NFT. But the good, let's see if I can. Yeah, I don't think I can get the IPFS somehow. Anyway, it's a bit laggy because it takes time to fetch the data from the IPFS server, save it locally, save it in the cache, and then display it. That's it, how it works. But once the image or the video is saved in the cache, not in your cache, you're not in the browser cache, but in the VM cache, then it's quite fast. So yeah, it's a really nice tool. I don't know who made this. It's quite good. I don't know if you can see it in the networking tab. Let me try. But yeah, another booster pack. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of it's a rudimentary system. It has a rudimentary cache feature, so it's not perfect, obviously, but this is just for fun. So yeah, a lot of chicken and worms. Let me try to find one. I think we got one, and then I will end the stream. once I get a chicken or a worm, I end the stream. This is the... Come on, let's get a worm or chicken. So if you have any more questions, just do it right now. Because like I said, once I find the right NFT, it's going to be done. There are a lot of teams. Oh, okay, we found the worm. Found the worm. Yeah, this is the worm boy. It's one of the youngest NFTs, and that's it. So thank you for being here. It's 2 hours, 1 hour 56 minutes. It was a try example or something for me to see if I can do it. It seems like this can be something popular or useful to you guys, and let's do it once more. Okay, address with chicken. Yeah, I don't have. Can you? Yeah, you cannot send the full link. Okay, let me try myself. Okay. No. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I cannot copy, anything from the chat. So yeah. Anyway, they are chickens too. Believe me, they are chickens too. That's all, guys. Thank you for being here. Probably going to have another session tomorrow. Take your time. If you have any questions, write them down, and I will answer them tomorrow. I will show tomorrow how to do IPFS upload, but this has not been finalized. Okay, I will show what I know. I'll ask around people what is the best way to do it. I will do it. But if it is not publicly available as NFT specification, it's not final. Now I know, super sad. I'm sad too, but I cannot change. I cannot do like 1 minute task per day. I have my limits. I have my deadlines. I have my things to do. And yeah, no problem. I will do my best to keep you entertained, guys. Yeah, see you tomorrow, guys. Probably the same time or later. I don't know. We will see. Stay tuned and yeah, have fun. If you need something from me, write in the Discord channel. If not, see you tomorrow. Bye bye, guys.